Before we talk about the main subject, I must address this. This video isn't about me attacking on Wuwa players, nor am I not saying Hoyo is immune to criticism, nor do I condone harassment to anyone I mentioned. The purpose of the video is how not to criticize a game, because what you get is someone who is a complete ignorant fool. A person who admitted in the comment section down below has never played the game that they are criticizing, nor does he realize their favorite game that they constantly make videos on has a massive problem like storage requirement and optimization, to the point where people are planning to quit the game. So what's the issue this person is addressing? Neon Infinity. The splash art. Yes, this 2D art that, by the way, we haven't seen gameplay nor the 3D model of this character. How there isn't any massive changes compared to the original design. And 2, special paths or SP are lazy without understanding that Hoyo already announced that the new planet is going to be SP focused banners, whether you like it or not. One last thing, if you're gonna call someone lazy, take that criticism and apply it to yourself, because your thumbnail game is dog shit. Literally the same image with the same character, with different text. Don't throw stones at your neighbors if your own windows are glass. But let's continue. The first character is Silverwolf, and he mentions that units in general cost $180.
From that, all they've done is just given her more like techie shoes and more glitchy clothes, and that's it. Bearing in mind that these units can cost up to around $180, bearing that in mind, does that warrant $180? Fuck no.
I'm going to presume he meant to say pools and not money. And even if that's true, Neon doesn't realize his argument can be used against his favorite game. It's less than 20 by 160 pools, which is still a lot. So in Sparksy and Sparkle section, he not only mentions the changing the colors in the designs while not showing the 3D models.
And here we have another variant of this, and it is Sparksy, who is a copy of Sparkle. Now again, it's another older unit being given a coat of paint and being released as a new 5-star. And now if these were the first 2 times, you know what, I would not care. But this has been a trend for a little while now, a couple years.
It's in this section that he says how there are too many SPs in this game.
Why are we selling skins as an entirely different character? Same with Sparksy in a way, like this is just the Sparkle skin. Why on earth is she being sold as a new character? But back to what I was saying, obviously 3 Danhangs, 2 Sparkles, 2 Silver Wolves. Apparently there's going to be 2 blades, so obviously the regular blade and an SP blade. There's going to be an SP Adventurine, so that's 2 Adventurines. And then there's going to be an SP Robin as well, so that's 2 Robins. Guys, what the fuck is going on? Honkai SP Rail.
Here's why this is disingenuous. If you actually played the game, you soon realize both Sparksy and Sparkle are different characters, with different gameplay kits and even themes. One is a DPS streamer, and the other one is a support prankster.
Let's play hide. Can you find the answer?
Who's also racist. If you also genuinely think SPs are lazy character designs, then never play Fate Go, Arknights, the tower defense one, Limbus Company, and pretty much every gacha game ever existed, because surprise surprise, special path alt characters are the norm in gacha spaces. Just because your favorite game doesn't have SP alt characters doesn't make it beneath other games. It just means the company doesn't want to make SPs yet. Something he mentions but does not show is March 7th and Evernight, because that would destroy his argument on how lazy the SPs are. I don't even need to mention why. You can just look at yourself. Last character would be Dan Heng.
March 7th has an SP, which is Evernight. Dan Heng has 2 SPs, which is Permanza Terre and Imbibita Lune. By the way, let me just pull up those designs and see if you can spot the difference. This is the 5-star form of a free 4-star, by the way. This was the first one that came out, called Imbibita Lune. And this is the newer 5-star form, called Permanza Terre. This was obviously given out for free, so in a vacuum, you can allow it, right? However, of course, if you missed it, then you have to pull for him, so, you know. But just look at the difference. There is, I know there is a slight color palette, but to somebody who is uneducated in Honkai Star Rail, genuinely, there is not enough difference. Oh wow, the color changes. The background changes. It's got a blue dragon, and then now it's a yellow dragon. Guys, all you've done is made him wear a different outfit, and that's it. Like, come on.
He complains about how imaginary Dang and physical Dang aren't enough of a difference, while again still being disingenuous because not only you refuse to use in-game models versions in which are different and gameplay wise. One plays as a full DPS that uses skill points for massive damage.
Awaken dormant scales. World cleansing dragon. Devon surge. Break.
The other one is a sustain with some follow-up damage.
Dragons, obey this order. Soaring above the land. This is permanent.
In the statement, there isn't enough of a difference. If the argument is that you wish Dan Heng had the same treatment as March 7th and Evernight, then I can see that as a valid argument. However, this isn't the case. You're using splash art and not in-game models. And again, I apologize for being a broken record. We already know that the new planet is going to be SP focused.
Obviously, I'm not going to count XPs like Cyrene and Bronya, as at least they are slightly different. It does teeter on the edge of laziness, but it is in the same sort of universe, the Honkai universe, so I'll give it a pass. Despite Cyrene being a very blatant ripoff of Elysia.
He also brought up Cyrene and Bronya and gives them a pass, even though there isn't an SP version, unless he's talking about the different game, in which why even bring it up? Again, if you think SPs is a lazy character designs, then stay away from other gacha games, or don't even pull the characters. Hoyo is still releasing new characters. You can still save the pulls for them.
Especially in a story-heavy game like HSR, it's something we all crave as gacha players to see our favorite characters from stories prior still being relevant in the current narrative, right? But I just think pulling for the same character again and again, then getting their light cone, as we all know, you need that now in HSR, right? You need that now in HSR, right? You need that now in HSR, right? You need that now in HSR, right?
And how would you know you need to pull the light cone banners if you didn't play the game? Other than some greedy cases that I can agree with, 90% of the time, light cones are just luxury. The only reason to pull them if you really enjoy the character and want to use them in the future content. Again, something you would have known if you played the game.
Just because they've got a new lick of paint and more meta relevance, right? I think it's a very cheap and lazy tactic, to be honest. Instead, my suggestion would be you include these as skins for optional reworks so you can toggle. Kind of like how March 7th was with her Hunt form, where it was included in her original character and she got a new skin for it. They've never done that ever again, by the way.
The reason why Hunt March is toggleable is because when you start the game, you get March 7th for free. This isn't a time-limited event like Archer or Dr. Ratio from the past. This is something you can get by playing the game, in which you haven't. The only character I would agree with would be Dan Heng. I think if you had a 4-star version of him toggleable, would be a better choice than give him a free unit. That I can agree with, but again, you're not implying that. However, I heavily disagree with toggleable Silverwolf, Sparkle, and any SPs because if they are toggleable, you can't use them in the same team, making the team variety of the game very limited. Which means you can't have Sparkle and Streamer to be in the same team because it counts as one unit. Same with Imaginary MC and Remembrance MC. Even content like MOC, Pure Fiction. Also, you sound very entitled when you suggested these alt characters should be free, non-banners. It would be nice, don't get me wrong, but the company is not obligated to give us free units like charity. So I'm fine with that. Especially, then again, I have to hammer this down. You never played the game. The rest of the video is him reading through Reddit and I guess his thoughts, if he had some weight to it. I'm going to do the similar thing and read one of your comment sections that summarizes your video. This is what Doro Prime 5756 said. As much as I hate the gacha tribalism discourse based on your content and lack of any knowledge of HSR nowadays, it's hard to take this as anything but trying to incite tribalism or rage bait. The only one of your arguments that had any really solid merit was Danny, and even if Silverwolf was a problem, that would still be like 2 to 3 characters over the last 1 to 2 years, far from giving anyone any idea that HSR lacks creativity in designs. Not only that, it feels like a bandwagon jump. You hold no stakes in this argument since you don't play the game / don't follow the story. But you can see the community that does play it call them out, as it can be easy fuse for both the tribalistic side of Wuwa and disgruntled HSR players. At least that's the vibe I get, which I mean, get your bag. But why talk about a game you no longer hold passion for? I know you love Wuwa, but this is the reason people say the CC space of Wuwa is bad. Because the big C's in the Wuwa space doom post other games just like Hoyo content creators did during the Wuwa release. There are great Wuwa content creators out there. So what was the point of making the video doom posting on a game that you don't enjoy anymore for any reason other than to get views from more rabid side of both fan bases? I strive to be a positive force to the community like the channels listed above. Yes, I know this is very preachy, but I can't take your argument seriously when it is blatantly bad faith. All in all, HSR is a far from perfect game, but lacking creativity in designs kinda feels like a major stretch, either done on purpose or formerly thought ignorance. I agree with what Doro Prime said other than Wuwa content creators because I don't watch them. In conclusion, you don't need to play 1000 hours to give constructive criticism. However, you also need to put effort and research to make your point stronger. Otherwise you get this video. And just so you know, this isn't exactly Neon Infinity. There are other people I haven't mentioned that joined the bandwagon of doom posting Hoyo and upsetting their favorite game because they used to play the Hoyo game for a long time. They hated it and then they just join a different game and just preach about it. Thank you for watching and have a nice day night.